What's up, you guys? Let's talk about what went down between David and Annie in this episode of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. David's sugar daddy, or should I say ex-sugar daddy turned splendid daddy, Chris, calls him to let him know that he just sold the Firehouse and that he and Annie have to get out of the home by Tuesday, which is just 3 days away. So he's like, okay, that's the bad news, but the good news at the very least is that I do have an apartment that you guys could stay in. It's just over a storage facility that I own. But bad news again, this one doesn't actually have a stove or anything like that. So it might be a little bit even more of a lifestyle downgrade for you guys. And so David is, of course, really disappointed by the news and sad to have to go and break even more bad news about their living conditions to his wife, who's already disappointed in being sold or false hopes about what it's like to live in America. So at this time, while he was getting the news, Annie was in the kitchen cooking or whatever, and so she finishes cooking and they sit down and talk about what just happened. And Annie is very obviously upset about what's going on, and David tries to calm her down by letting her know about the other home that Chris offered them instead. And she's like, David, when are you going to be finally able to take care of me? Are we just going to keep moving around and around until we get evicted from all of these places? What the heck is going on? And so David's like, you've got to trust me. She's like, how the heck can I trust you? Look what's happened so far. He's like, come on, Annie, have I let you down? She's like, really? You don't think you've let me down? Really? And it was just absolutely amazing how David doesn't understand the level of disappointment and sadness and isolation and just what's the word? Just betrayal that Annie feels about being sold this beautiful American dream and having to come here and live in poverty that's probably worse than whatever she had going on when she was in Thailand with her parents, family, friends, everything she ever has known, and food she actually likes. Remember, Annie doesn't even like American food, so it's really tough for her to be out here. The next time we see the two of them, they head over to the storage facility to give it a little bit of a visit and find out what working there is like, because remember, Chris gave David an option, which was he could stay in the apartment for free by working at the storage facility or keep looking for a job, get something else, and pay rent. So David's like, all right, let me go see what it's like to work there. So he meets with an employee at the front desk and starts asking a couple of questions. And he's like, I don't know that I want to do this job. I really don't want to do this job because I have a master's degree. No one goes and gets a master's degree specifically to work a $10 per hour job. And it's just unfortunately the way things are for him at that moment. I personally think economically the best choice would be for him to just live there for free while working there and interviewing as well. I'm sure Chris would be really flexible about his hours to help him get back on his feet. It's either that or you're just draining through your savings more and more and more, right? So he starts asking about what it's like to live in the apartments above the storage facility that Chris offered. A tenant takes him upstairs and he's like, all right, by the way, you'll only get 2 to 3 minutes worth of hot showers because the heater's about the size of my head. And also the windows don't open. So they go upstairs, check it out, and it's just, there's nothing homey feeling about this at all. It looks like a thrift store or something like that that's empty. And Annie's just really disappointed. She's like, whoa, there's no stove here. I'm not gonna cook all my meals in a microwave. I hate American food. My food has to be cooked. It's not microwavable food. And she refuses to actually move there. She's like, David, I'm not moving here. You can move here alone, but I'm not moving here with you. David begs her to change her mind and move in with him. And she's like, no. He's like, do you regret marrying me? She's like, honestly, yeah, I do. If I could turn back the hands of time, I never would have married you in the first place. And you can just see the hurt all over David's eyes. But at the same time, I can understand where she's coming from because he wasn't wholeheartedly truthful about what her experience living in America was going to be. In this moment, I kind of wanted to ask you guys a question, which was, do we give Annie and other people a bit of a pass about their expectations of living in America as opposed to Anfisa? Because it seems she has the same disappointments that Anfisa has, which is that she was sold this idea of living in a lap of luxury in America if she just gave up her life to move here with someone, right? And there's no way that Annie is legitimately attracted to David. He's 50 something. all of these kids who, like, some of them I think are even older than her. So it just does not even make sense for her to be attracted to him outside of the idea of a lifestyle. So why is it that no one really ever calls that out? Just because she doesn't want Chanel or Louboutins or Louis Vuitton or Jimmy Choo's doesn't mean she's not kind of a gold digger as well, you know? She said Chris needed to get his act together or she was moving back to Thailand with or without him. And that's all that we see from them in this episode of 90 Day Fiance. What did you guys think about what went down between this couple? Like, they really, it's always one thing or another with them. David kind of reminds me of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh in that respect. Leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more. Feel free to share it with your friends as well. And follow me across social media where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.